Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I'm Baron von Munchausen.
And I'm Gary. And today we're taking a look at a film that came out in 2010 by director Quentin Dupieux. Rubber. Ian, if you can, the synopsis please.
Well, the story follows a tyre that comes to life and goes round the desert using psychokinetic powers to blow things up. At the same time, the tyre is being watched by an audience of people for no reason.
This is a crazy, independent, ambitious film. I've seen the film twice now, and it is completely unexpected. From the tagline of the poster, are you tired of everything you've seen already? Because this is totally different. Right from the opening scene, where we see this police car just zigzagging down a road, knocking over all of these, I don't know, balsa wood chairs, because they go down just from the slightest tap. But you're just kind of wondering why.
Yeah.
And there's this guy just watching this car pull all the way up. And then a police officer gets out with the boot of the car. And you're just like, okay, so what is this? He then gets out of the car and talks directly to us as an audience member.
Yeah.
About what he thinks the film is.
Well, he explains that films, even the greatest films ever made, have points in them that make no sense or have no reasoning behind them.
In the Steven Spielberg movie E.T., why is the alien brown? No reason.
Why in The Pianist does he live like a bum but he can play a piano really well? No reason.
In Love Story, why did the two characters fall madly in love with each other? No reason.
Why does the shark chase the Brody family in Jaws the Revenge?
No reason.
No reason.
And for me, before the films even started, it blew my mind. Literally, this guy getting out the boot of his car, walking up to me and saying, look at all these films. And I started to really question other films in my head. We sit there and we argue for ages about, why did that character do this? And why did that character do that in this film and that film? No reason. There is no reason. And I just fell in love with this film. Immediately, because I was just like, I understand films a bit more now because there is no reasoning behind it. The film then develops where the audience members that the police officer is talking to, they get given a bunch of binoculars and they start watching what we're going to start watching. So they start looking at this junk pile and you see the tyre. And the tyre, for me, is the greatest actor I think I've seen in a very long time. The tyre made me believe that it was actually a real tyre and actually really had come alive.
When we're watching the tyre just laying in the dirt, we just see it very slowly just start to move, starts to twitch.
Yeah.
And you can hear the gravel around it being shaken loose as it finally erects itself upright. And it's like a newborn.
Yeah.
Because it's just wobbly on itself.
Yeah,
It tries to move and it just falls over again. And it just struggles to get itself back up and continue down on its path. So you're just literally watching it from its birth almost.
Yeah.
And you're endeared to it because the special effect really works. I mean, you can see right through it.
Yeah.
And you get some fantastic close-ups of just the tyre. You can see that you can count the treads in it.
Yeah.
But it does have a bizarre personality, and that's accompanied by the music because it kind of relaxes you while you're just watching this tyre eventually just go on his merry way.
Yeah. He just starts going out for no reason. This tire has psychokinetic powers, so it starts off, it rolls over a plastic bottle, and then it comes to a glass bottle, and it realizes it can't break it, so it uses its powers to break the bottle. Then it realizes it has powers, so it blows up a can and a bunny rabbit.
Rewind that and play that bit again. Yeah, rewind it and play it one more time, please. So we're watching this tire sort of building up its powers. We've watched it just kill the rabbit, a crow.
Yeah.
It's destroyed glass. And so you're kind of building up to the inevitable. That this tire is a people killer.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is the weirdest thing, because you're watching the tire, but then you're watching the audience watching the tire. You know, my mind starts to get blown when we follow the tire. It's killed the guy in the truck that ran it over. I thought that was a brilliant scene. And it follows this girl to a hotel. And the girl goes into her motel room and she starts taking a shower, and the audience members not only can see the tire, but they can see inside the room and see the girl having a shower. And I'm like,
Stop, Dad, give me that.
That's some special binoculars. I really like all of these all these audience members that are up on this hill somewhere, because no matter where the events are taking place that they're spectating, they've always got a vantage point to see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, we've watched this tire going for days down this road, and they're still able to see everything that's happening and hear everything that's happening. It's no reason.
I talking about the audience, I love the different personalities of the people in the audience. You know, you have the black woman who she doesn't know anything about physics or stuff, so she's asking people in her audience if the things that she's seeing would happen. And you have the smart geeky guys who are like, oh yeah, that'll work, and physics and all this kind of stuff. And then you have the two young girls who are telling them to shut up, we're trying to watch this. You've got the dad and the son trying to have a family bonding moment, but the dad's more interested in filming. He's got a video camera and he's recording the tire.
That's one of my favourite parts in the film, because they're like, whoa, you can't record this because you'll get arrested and done for copyright.
You know you're not allowed to film the film. It's forbidden by law.
It is?
Yeah, they'll put you in jail for that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she's right. It's piracy. I'd be careful if I were you.
You're in the middle of the desert recording a tire blowing people's heads up.
No reason.
No fucking reason.
I also like the quiet, grizzled veteran that's kind of just brought his own chair.
Yeah.
Sat there just watching everything quietly.
Yeah. The veteran is kind of the carry-on point for the audience, because there's a weedy little guy. I didn't actually see what his name was.
No.
But he kind of is organising the audience to watch the tire.
He gets a very nervous phone call from somebody.
Yeah, they call him Master.
And he's just like, yes, everything's okay. And he's just very weedy and humbled and kind of nervous.
Yes. Oh, yes, Master. Very well, Master.
And we see him pull out this briefcase, and it's filled with all sorts of, I'm guessing, poisons.
Yeah.
Because he's left these audience members up on this hill for a couple of days now, while the events of the rubber tire is playing out, and none of them have eaten anything, and none of them are going anywhere because they don't want to miss the film. So he turns up, and he literally just goes, dinner is served, and he hands them a fully roasted turkey, and it turns into fucking cannibal holocaust.
Animals.
As you're watching these desperate, hungry people just tear it limb from limb.
For no reason.
And then next scene, yep, back with the binoculars watching the tyre again. Until the little boy starts to complain about stomach cramps and stomach pains.
Yeah.
And so we're starting to see a bit of a darker side to this film when we come back and we realise that everyone that ate the food is dead. Except for the grizzled veteran who didn't want any of it, and he's still watching the film.
Yeah.
We then cut back to the police officers who are investigating these bizarre deaths where all these people are suddenly missing their heads.
Yeah.
And the police officer's like, okay, everyone, it's okay now. We can stop the film.
Yeah.
We can stop now. There's no one watching, so go home. Yeah.
You can all relax. It's over. We're stopping now. Thanks, and congratulations to all. Great job.
And the other officers are like, there's a murder investigation. We got dead bodies here. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I know. You've done a good job, everyone. Good job. You can go home now. And then the weedy guy comes up and goes, no, wait. You've got to carry on because there's someone still watching.
Yeah.
You can't end the film. You're breaking the fourth wall here. And I'm like, the film's already done that several times anyway. And so...
That whole sequence is my favourite scene of the whole film. The cop at the beginning with his speech about films had got me hooked. And then watching the tyre, you know, the way that the film was filmed around the tyre with the background scenery and the music and what little special effects that they had just kept me going up to this point where the police officer has turned around to his deputies and he's telling them, yeah, just go home. And they're really confused. And he says to one of them, why do you think you're a police officer? You have a stuffed animal underneath your arm. And the officer looks down and he's got a stuffed animal. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on? And the police officer's like, shoot me. Get your gun out and shoot me. So his another deputy shoots him 3 times. And you see the blood and the bullet holes. And the guy's just like, yep, there's no pain. You can all go home. And I'm like, this is brilliant because the sheriff believes knows it's a film and it's all part of the film, and you know once all the spectators are dead they can all go home and the film ends, but there's one still alive so the film has to carry on. And I'm just like
The spectators didn't eat the turkey. He's alive and watching as we speak.
Damn. You sure this is true?
Positive. You have to go on.
All right.
So, if all this is happening for no reason, I still like to try and find the reason. So, the clues that we've been given are that there is a master who's never in the film at all, who's perhaps controlling all of these events, who has, for some whatever reason, resurrected this tire, given it demonic life, if you will, and in order to perhaps play out some sort of ritual sacrifice, this tire needs to go and kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, I actually had an easier theory on it.
Okay.
It's Christine's tire.
That was my alternative.
Yeah.
It was just the tire from Christine.
It's just a tire from Christine. It's the last embodiment of Christine's spirit in this tire, and you know she's ended up in the desert, and she's just going around blowing people's heads up.
There is a moment in the film where it cuts back, like, I don't know, maybe a day or two later, and we've got some sort of music playing, and the camera's just panning over dead body after dead body after dead body, and I'm like, oh, I really wanted to see that.
Yeah. But obviously, at the same time, I mean, the film was filmed on a really low budget.
Yeah.
You know, the brilliance of this film, I think, is the director takes the basics of filmmaking and just shows how easy it is. obviously, filmmaking is not easy. It takes hours and a lot of hard work and all the editing process and stuff like that. But he was able to take just the background scenery of a desert and roll a tire around it, and yet make an hour and 20-minute long film about it.
I was blown away by the camera work in this film. It was
Yeah.
all shot on a Canon 5D, and the location that they chose for the film, it really complements the story or the story that's being told.
Yeah.
Because I loved all of the fine detail and just the gravel, the dirt, the scenery that the film takes place in is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's accompanied really well by the music and by the sporadic moments of bizarre situations that these actors are really bringing to life with a deadpan kind of approach.
I thought at the beginning that the human elements would be a bit weak because all I wanted to see was the tire, but you are just literally watching a rubber tire roll around, you know. So when the human elements come along, like you said, they're talking about situations and things that they've been doing, but they believe what they're saying. So in turn, you end up believing them as well. It's absolutely brilliant.
I've got quite a few favourite scenes in the film. I think, other than the rabbit exploding and a couple of heads popping, I really like the scene where the owner of the motel has sent his kid off to go and get him a pizza. And I was like, where the hell are they going to get a pizza in the middle of the desert? But lo and behold, the kid gets on his bike, goes down the road, finds a pizza shop, goes in there, gets his pizza, he's cycling back, and he sees the remains of, I think, the crow that exploded earlier in the film, and he's like, "Oh, you want double toppings, motherfucker? All right then." And he puts on this carcass of the bird onto the pizza. I was just like, it's disgusting. But that, for whatever reason, is stuck in my mind.
Like I said, my favourite scene was the sheriff getting shot because it just broke all the rules of films for me. Any scene with the tire is just absolutely brilliant. That tire deserves an Oscar.
I have recommended this film to other people after my first viewing of the film.
Yeah.
Just because it was such a what the fuck movie that I wanted other people to see it so I could talk about it with them. Watching it again the second time, I fully loved the first half an hour of the film. I was engrossed in watching this tire just going about his routine. Mm-hmm. And it made me think that in other horror films, I mean, this is not particularly a horror film in itself, but we never really get to see the killer sort of watching TV, going for a swim, or just cruising down the highway. We only ever cut to the killer when it's the killer's moment to kill, its victims. We usually follow the survivors all the way around. But actually following the tire in this film, watching it do all those things, it's what made it different to all the other films out there, other than the bizarre fourth wall breaking incidents. So for those of you that haven't seen the film before, I do recommend it if you're curious about the film. It very much so is a dark comedy. There's a lot of laughs throughout the film, but I will say that the last half an hour, the last 45 minutes, the laughs, they're a bit more few and far between, as the film's pretty much just trying to get itself into a position where it can have its ending.
Yeah.
Which, for me, it's a little bit anticlimactic. And there is a joke within the film where one of the characters says, "Hey, that was pretty anticlimactic." And I like the fact that the film is aware of itself. It's not strong enough to hold up for repeat viewings. I will say, because I can't imagine myself watching the film for a third time.
Yeah.
But I am definitely glad I've seen it. I love the special effects of the tire, the bizarre acting. And for an ambitious project like this, which was made on such a small budget, props to the filmmakers.
I definitely recommend this film for no reason.
Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
Oh God, the kid was right. The killer is a tire.